Hello friends, my name is James Hawkins, and as always I'm joined by my good friends Brian Castiglione and Anthony Alessino, as well as my younger brother, Jack Hawkins. On this show we're all about parlays, overs, unders, spreads, and money lines. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Parlay-Vous. What up, everybody? This is the D. Malenko of podcasting, the name man of 1,000 nicknames, James Hawkins. I'm joined by Brian Castiglione and Jack Hawkins, and this is the Parlay-Vous podcast. Week 1 of the NFL is in the books, and I had a little bit of fun.
Yeah, I
had zero fun.
I had a very tiny bit of fun.
From a personal team perspective, it wasn't fun, but I did pretty good from a gambling
Yeah, I
perspective.
did awful gambling.
Really?
Awful.
Damn.
Well, I mean, most of my fucking tragedies happened on Saturday.
Okay.
And then it was just shovel after shovel on Sunday. Like I was doing shit I would have never done if I wasn't already in the hole.
Yeah.
Like at 4 o'clock, I parlayed Denver, Dallas, and Washington money lines.
You did Washington?
Yeah,
That's
Damn.
crazy.
it was a get out of the hole bet, dude. It was a get out. And then I had the Sunday night last shovel of all shovels. Cooper Kupp anytime touchdown.
Nice.
Jameson Williams anytime touchdown.
Okay.
Both hit.
Yeah.
Rams money line.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
The Lions won in overtime.
Well,
That bet would have dug me out of a week's worth
that
of
was parlayed.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I thought those were single bets.
No, that was a parlay that would have dug me out of a week's worth of losses.
Damn.
It would have turned me from minus a lot to plus a little. And I didn't even stay awake to see either one of them score, so I didn't even have the chance to be upset about it until the next day, because early in the third quarter it was like 10-3, and I was like, I gotta be up at 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm going to fuck sleep. So I had a little bit of fun. Still glad football's back. Not discouraged by 1 week of losses. Week 1 is
No.
always tough. And week 0 and week 1 in college football are also tough. And we'll get to the college fucking mishap that I had to deal with on Thursday's episode when we do college. But a lot of bad beats. But college should get better as the year goes on, because you really kind of figure out who's who and what's what. Let's talk about our hometown boys. Should we start with the boys in blue, since it should be much easier?
Yeah, I mean,
quicker conversation.
that is what. Yeah, absolutely.
They suck.
From a non-football perspective, the uniforms were terrible. I see a lot of people online. They're like, "These are great. They look so good. They look like the Canadians."
They look like the Montreal.
They look like the
Canadiens.
Montreal.
It looks like the
Canadiens.
Montreal Canadiens had a baby with the Wolverines.
Yeah, the socks are horrendous. I mean, I don't know what's going on there.
Weren't they wearing brown
Well,
pants?
The whole,
Yeah, the brown pants, like.
the whole
Why do you
deal,
think they wore brown
the,
pants?
The whole deal to blend in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out Deadpool. He should have worn his white pants. So, the whole deal with the Giants jerseys, it's the 100th season of Giants football this year.
Yeah.
So they came up with these jerseys to highlight X amount of teams. Like the helmets are from like 1910 when they wore leather helmets. The jerseys are from like 1938. The pants are from like 1942. Like everything comes from an old school team. It's a mishmash of bullshit. Jerseys were ugly, but they weren't the ugliest thing on the field on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel Jones, it's not looking great.
I tried to tell you guys about Shotgun Sam Darnold. And when I say you guys, I know I'm looking at you.
What?
I know I'm looking at you. I mean the fans. I mean anyone who's
Right.
listened to the show. And our brother Phil.
Yeah.
Our brother Phil, I doubt you're listening, but if you are, he was all about the Giants to beat the Vikings. He's like, oh, they're going to beat the Vikings. The Vikings are no good. He's like, Sam Darnold sucks.
Yeah.
I'm like, Sam Darnold won. It's fair enough to say that he sucks based on performance, but like, I'm not shocked. Regardless of what NFL defense it is, I don't care if it's the New England Patriots, the Carolina Panthers, the New York Giants, or the goddamn fucking San Francisco 49ers. Anybody who comes out and goes 12 for 12 to start a game with 100 yards and a touchdown, you can't tell me that guy sucks.
Right.
And the best thing to ever happen to Sam Darnold is that J.J. McCarthy is going to miss the entire year. So he's going to get, barring injury, 17 fucking games to put on tape to have that Baker Mayfield-like resurgence and maybe get a long-term deal with another team next year. So I will be rooting for Sam
Or a
Darnold.
long-term deal with the Vikings.
No way. They're you don't draft a quarterback in the
it's
top
not gonna
10.
happen.
You don't draft the top quarterback in the top 10 and then give someone else $100 million. That's not going to
Well,
happen.
the argument with Sam Darnold, at least for us, was always, or at least for me, I felt like was it was always about a situation. Like the situation he was in, he was never in a position to thrive. Is essentially what I'm trying to say. The Jets was the whole Adam Gase era. I think everyone kind of knows how that went. After that, he wound up on the Panthers,
Carolina, which was even worse.
Is hasn't gotten much better since. We kind of seen how that organization's been run. And then the year after that, you're back up on the 49ers, which
was a perfect situation. Because just by being near Kyle Shanahan for a year was going to get him a contract somewhere, and it landed him in probably the best situation he could have been in Minnesota.
Yeah, because I agree with you. I think having Justin Jefferson obviously helps a lot, but Jordan Addison's still not bad. I know he got banged up, but a decent pass catchers on the team. I think you're right. I think he'll play himself at least into maybe a bridge quarterback role, if not a high salary backup. You never know, depending on how the summer shakes out.
It's like the Geno Baker trajectory,
right? You could see him wanting. I'm trying to think of like teams with either older quarterbacks. He might wind up on the Giants next year if Daniel Jones winds up not panning out. We might get Sam Darnold back in New York, just in a different jersey.
The classic switcheroo.
I wouldn't be mad about it. Darnold and Malik Neighbors would be a nice little. We see what he's doing with Jefferson so far in week 1,
and it can't possibly get worse. Speaking of it can't possibly get worse, the Daniel Jones experience. Go ahead.
I got receipts here on the Giants. So on August 27th of 2024, I was in a fantasy league with Mr. Will, our brother, a.k.a. Phil, and I picked up the Minnesota Vikings defense, okay? 250 on August 27th. Bro, the Giants are going to smash the Vikings. I'd rather take my chances on the Giants rather than the Jets. I had the San Francisco defense as well on the bench, right? I feel like that's a justified take. I agree, but San Francisco is a top 10 defense. The Vikings are like 25th. The Giants range from anywhere between 25 and 32 on offense, and the Jets rank between 17 and 9. Malik Neighbors is going to torch that secondary. I'm taking the Giants' money line in my parlay. Good to know you're torching money already. Replace that money line with a Neighbors stat line prop. I bet your average time to throw for your franchise quarterback is under 3 seconds. I'm not worried about that Vikings non-existent pass rush. Haven't heard from Phil since.
The Daniel Jones experience is serious.
Oh, it's serious. I
don't know if you guys have heard the stat. It's been all over the social media since Sunday or Monday morning. Since signing the 4-year, $160 million contract for Danny Dimes, Mr. Dimes has thrown 3 pick sixes and 2 passing touchdowns to his own team.
I didn't see that stat.
So
since this guy's worth pennies.
Since earning $40 million a year AAV, he has thrown more touchdowns to the other team than he has to his own team. Look, we knew this was going to be what it was going to be. Everyone wants fucking Daniel Jones. We're burning jerseys in the stadium parking lot after the game. We're already calling to have him benched. If you really think Drew Lock is a better option, you're out of your goddamn mind. As a New York Jets fan, I understand the frustration. Trust me, I understand the frustration. You know how many guys were supposed to be the guy that just wound up to be just another guy for the New York Jets? I understand the frustration. If you want to say, like Joe Shane, like we're paying our quarterback $40 million a year, we're not paying him that to pay hand off to the guy that's making $12 million a year with Saquon Barkley, and then Saquon goes out on Friday night and scores 3 touchdowns with Philly, and the Giants can't muster up a single touchdown. I get the frustration there, but what's done is already done. Okay, they tried to get Saquon and Daniel Jones both done the same time. They couldn't get it done. Coming off of the one decent year that he had where they won a playoff game, if you have the chance to pay a fucking running back nearing 30 or pay a quarterback that you think might be the guy, you're going to pay the quarterback every single time. He's getting paid the $40 million a year. He's going to be the starter. Just deal with it.
Yeah.
This was not a team with high expectations. This was a team with one of the lowest win totals of the year going into the year, gambling-wise. Just deal with it. When you have grown men in their mid to late 20s sitting in the parking lot of Jet Life Stadium 3.5 hours after the game ended, waiting for Danny to leave the stadium to heckle him and tell him he sucks, you are a loser.
Yeah.
How good are you at your fucking job? What if we graded your job and every time you opened the New York Post or every time you turned on the fucking AM radio, they were talking about fucking, Johnny was fucking 1 of 7 on groceries bag today and he was 2 minutes over on his 15-minute break. How would you feel? You know, everywhere this kid goes, I'm not saying he's good. He's not good. But everywhere this kid goes and looks, he's hearing about how awful he is. On TV, on local radio. Now at the fucking stadium, the fans, after 17 minutes of game time, we're already done with him. You're not helping the situation. If you want to fucking send a message to the Maras and the Tishes and the New York Giants organization, don't go to the game.
Right.
Don't buy the jersey. Don't fucking buy the program. Don't put more money in their pocket. That's what I did. I haven't been to a New York Jets football game in over a decade because I got fed up with the product they were putting out on the field. I never told anyone on the Jets that they should die or that they sucked or waited outside a stadium for an extra 3 fucking hours. You could have watched another football game in the time it took to wait for Daniel Jones to leave the locker room that day. That's pathetic. And look, it's going to be tough the rest of the way. It's not going to... I'd love to tell you, New York Giants fans, it's going to get better, but it's not. Not in 2024, 2025. This is what I told our good friend Anthony the other day. This is what I'm telling all of my Giants friends. Start thinking about names like Jackson Dart, Shadur Sanders, Quinn Ewers, Carson Beck. Start thinking names like that. Cam Ward. Start thinking about guys like that. Get excited for the next top 5 guy. The only good news I can give you is that the odds of it being an ACC basketball school kid who only had 1 good year of college film are very low. So look, if there's a year to be tanking for a quarterback, there's plenty to fucking pick from this year. I know you don't want to hear it in September. Start looking about mock drafts. Start taking your fantasy team seriously. Root for another team in the AFC. I'm not saying you have to root for the Jets. Root for the Bills. Pick a team that isn't the Giants, that isn't in the NFC East, whose jersey is your favorite color. Root for them for the year. Make the best of it because it's not going to be a good season. The sooner we accept that, the sooner we can move on. And that's really the highlight of the Giants season for me. People saying we're officially on Bill Belichick wash, I think are out of their goddamn minds. Daboll and Shane are not going anywhere. They're going to survive the year. Whenever a GM coach tandem comes in with a quarterback that was already given to them, they are almost always given the opportunity to get their own guy. Almost always without fail. So don't start getting excited about Belichick. I doubt that's going to happen at this point in the game. Other than that, I mean, that's all I'm going to say about the G-Men.
Yeah, I really don't have much to add. I mean, we kind of were all in agreement last week when we all kind of said under 5 wins. I think that's how it's going to go. The schedule's tough. The roster's talent depleted. I mean, outside of Malik, and kind of sucks because the defense, I felt like towards the end of the year last year with Banks, and now we have Burns. It looked a little bit better, but not this week. Not at all. They were kind of just...
No, and Tay Banks is still a player, though.
No, absolutely.
That
That's what I'm
guy's a dog.
saying. It sucks because the talent's there. I do like... it does seem like the Giants are a young team, which more often than not can help, form more solidarity between them instead of having, veterans and a nice youth mix. It does seem like they're a young, solid group of guys. I just think maybe the talent level's not quite there yet. And like you were saying, I don't think it's going to be there this year at all, honestly.
New York Jets played on Monday night, traveled to San Francisco, playing the defending NFC champions. Look, I know McCaffrey didn't play, and we expected better, but still, I'm not panicking. I'm not going to panic. I'm not hitting the fucking break glass in case of emergency button. I'm not calling for anyone's jobs yet. It's a tough draw when you draw the best defensive team in football, arguably the best rushing team in football, and arguably the best current active head coach in football, certainly the best play caller in Kyle Shanahan. It's a tough week 1 draw. Mm-hmm. all of these people all over the place, from Mad Dog Russo on ESPN to the guys on the Fan to people I talk to in my casual life, guys on the construction job site. Rodgers can't move. He looked like he couldn't move around. His Achilles, he doesn't look good with his Achilles. What football were you watching? He wasn't trying to move around. He was slinging that ball all over the field.
Yeah.
Like, nothing about Rodgers concerned me. Nothing about the offense really concerned me.
No.
Here's the concerning part. The number 3 overall defense from last year gave up 8 consecutive scoring possessions.
Yeah.
8 consecutive scoring possessions. The defense got absolutely mollywopped and manhandled. They were out-coached, out-hearted, out-fucking-manned on the defensive end of the football from bell to bell. When that happens against the middling teams in the NFL, you're going to struggle to win. I don't care that it's Jordan Mason, an undrafted guy, and not Christian McCaffrey. You get to the NFL for a fucking reason. The guy can still run. And when on 30% of his runs, I'm making this number up based off the eye test, they run left, the defensive line is stunting to the right. You're doing their job for them.
Right.
That's a coaching issue. And I know it gets bad when C.J. Mosley, for his entire tenure with the Jets, the minute he leaves the field, it's like it's a different team. He had to leave the field for a large portion of the game. It got bad then. Mm-hmm. Now let's get to the sauce matter of things. I need a fucking answer. I need a better fucking answer from somebody. I don't care who's going to give it to me. Sauce Gardner leaves the field, looks like he's banged up, misses, I think, 9 snaps on defense he misses during a scoring drive, a pivotal part of the game where they absolutely needed to stop. And then we got Lisa Salters reporting from the sideline. Yeah, the PR team says he's not hurt. He's not playing right now because of a medical issue. And then eventually he goes back in the game after 9 snaps. During the 9 snaps that Sauce Gardner was not on the field, Brock Purdy went 6 of 6. Mm-hmm. 6 of 6, and the drive resulted in a touchdown at a pivotal point in the game. Then after the game, the answer we get, you know what I'm about to...
No, I didn't.
He was catching his breath.
Oh.
Unacceptable. Unacceptable excuse. From Bob, from fucking JD, from Sauce himself, from anyone who's going to say anything. Tell me he mouthed off to the coach. Tell me he told someone to go fuck themselves. I don't care what it is. An NFL athlete, arguably we're saying a top 2 at his position, a guy who was a top 5 draft pick 2 years ago, who was, by the way, 24 years old. He was missing snaps on week 1 to catch his breath. Nah, not good enough for me. And if that was the truth, Coach Bob, if that was the truth, that he was just missing snaps because he was tired, here's an idea. Don't sit your fucking starters for 3 straight preseason games. What the fuck? Like, if there's a coach, 18-34 is your record as the Jets head coach. You can't afford losses in weeks 1, 2, and 3 because you're warming your guys up. If a freak injury happens and they blow their ACL out on snap 3 of a preseason game, so fucking be it. These guys need to be ready when it matters, especially when you got the defending NFC champions in their house.
Right.
Not good enough. Overall, I think arrow goes slightly up for the offense. That first touchdown drive that they had, the most unjet drive I've seen in my life.
Yeah, it was.
7.5 minutes and it ends with a touchdown,
yeah.
And picked up 4 or 5 first downs in the process. Never seen anything like that, not even in the Sanchez days. Might have to go back to the 05 Pennington Curtis Martin team to find the drive that good. Other than that, look, we got Tennessee next week. We got New England after that. And then we got Denver.
Good 3 games.
Settle down.
Yeah.
Should be 3-1 at the end of the month.
I think the biggest concern, I mean, you kind of touched on it, but I think Aaron looked fine. He wasn't, otherworldly or throwing the lights out of the building or anything like that. But, like you said, the offense was functioning. The biggest concern to me was the run defense. Awful. Obviously, that's the big key point. But, man, I mean, we're talking last year, top 5 run defense, messed up Jalen Hurts, the whole Eagles, had him shut down. Like you said, not to take away from Jordan Mason, but, I mean, not just like averaging 5 yards a carry here and there, just grind. These were huge runs at some points.
Gashed.
20, 25, 30. Yeah, exactly. Gashes down the field.
Undrafted free agent backup.
Yeah. Granted,
Gashing, yeah.
the 49er effect is real. Shanahan does a great job of putting the pieces in place to kind of make everyone complement each other. But like I said, if it was grind out 5 yards a carry, that sort of deal, where we're just getting dirty, but we're getting the yards, it'd be fine. But the big runs are what's concerning.
And no pass rush. So here's an idea.
Right.
Give Hassan Reddick whatever the fuck he wants.
Well,
how's that sound? Because we lose JFM, we lose Bryce Huff, we lose fucking Carl Lawson, who isn't on the team right now anyway, so whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another interior guy. You lost four members of an 8-man rotation from last year. You got, at points, they had 2 undrafted guys on the interior of the defensive line and Quinnen playing on the outside. You traded a 3rd-round pick for him. I don't care if there was a miscommunication. Figure it the fuck out. You don't want to give him a long-term deal? Restructure his deal. Right. Give him a reworked 1-year deal. Give him whatever he wants to show the fuck up by week 3 against the Patriots. Because you lose to New England, now we have a problem. Sorry I cut you off.
No, you're good. That was pretty much all I had. I kind of watched the game in pieces a bit. I watched the whole first half, then I missed a little bit of the third and saw the end of it. I think the Jets will be fine. Like you said, the biggest concern, they have to come out against, maybe not the Titans, because the Titans seem to be middle of the pack this year, but I think if they win the Titans game, I think they need to come out against the Patriots and really
smack the
throw the
fuck
lights
out.
out. Like Rodgers has to throw for 300. Garrett's got to have 2. Brees has got to have 70 rushing yards. It has to be a display of offense and defense, realistically, because it's not a very good New England offense. It has to be what everyone thought it was going to be going into the season. If not, then there's probably serious cause for concern, I would think, at that point.
I don't disagree, Jack.
I mean, really I don't have a super big take, but I do want to, my Jets talk is going to go into our next segment here, which I believe is going to be, we're going to overreact a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to do week 1 overreactions.
So I'm going to start my overreaction here with Hassan Reddick needs to be paid by the end of this fucking week because the Jets defense has permanently regressed and will not finish inside the top 3 this year. They won't. You can't be giving up 25, 30-yard runs to a guy who's a violent runner. Everybody in the fucking NFL is a violent runner. Are you kidding me?
Right.
And you're a top 3 highly touted defense. We got our fucking best player on the field taking snaps off because he's out of his breath. This is not a top 3 defense. Again, you could say the same thing for the Browns. It's not okay. It's not okay. Hassan Reddick needs to be paid because also the talent deficit now on that front 4 is
Jermaine Johnson was non-existent on Thursday night.
Because guys like Bryce Huff and John Franklin Myers and there's another guy I'm thinking that I'm missing that I'm not seeing right now.
Carl Lawson. Who, again, doesn't have a job right now.
Who aren't on that line, who are being subbed in. Now you have a deficit. You don't have an overabundance of guys who can rush the passer, of guys who are fresh and ready to go off the bench.
And Michael Clemens being too small to play defensive tackle but massive to play defensive end doesn't work when you don't have the guys that they had last year. It's time for Will McDonald to step up. He was a top 20 pick in the NFL draft 2 years ago. It's time for him to fucking start earning your keep because it's getting closer and closer to looking like outside of that Breece Hall, Ahmad Gardner draft class, Joe Douglas hasn't been drafting tremendous. So that guy needs to start producing and show up on the field more than just on 3rd down.
And another thing, I need to see a little more fucking fire out of Jamie and Sherwood, who I've heard so much about this fucking outside linebacker, who I've seen tackle the softest fucking tackler I've ever seen on the Jets.
He's a good special teamer, though.
Well, that's great. Why is he fucking starting?
He wasn't. He was in there after Mosley left.
He was started at outside linebacker.
They're starting
on the opposite side of Quincy.
Their starting off-ball linebackers are Quincy and CJ.
He was in that game while Mosley was in that game.
Who do you think comes out when Michael Carter gets in the game? Him. So how often in the modern NFL are you in a nickel? Most of the time. So I get it, but he's not one of the 2 off-ball guys that should be out there all the time. But I get it.
But
I think he was wearing the dot Actually, no, he couldn't be wearing the dot if he's technically a starter. I don't know who
It
was
might have
wearing
been
the
Quinnen.
dot.
It might have been Quincy. It could have been one of the DBs. Could have been Reed.
I don't know if Quincy would, unless they changed his helmet after Mosley went out.
Well, what helmets were they wearing? The green ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was hard to tell on TV. No,
Yeah,
we're gonna
'cause the
have to go
dot
find
is
some
usually
pictures.
green. But whatever.
But
Just another touch-up thing with there. This is just an aesthetic thing that really has nothing to do with on-field play, but it bothered me. And I've always been a look good, feel good, play good kind of a guy. I don't know if it's the Aaron Rodgers effect, but the loose, long sleeves gotta go.
Horrendous.
On Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner,
Yeah.
gotta go. They gotta go.
they look like they're swimming in it.
You have any overreactions?
I kind of like Sauce in that the long
I
sleeves
don't.
though.
I
You don't
don't.
like it? I like it. The Garrett Wilson, we
So-
don't need long sleeves.
We're pitching this as our personal overreactions. not
Overreaction
the- okay,
overall.
I know what mine are. I just have to pitch it the right way. So my overreaction. Damn, I thought we were calling out overreaction.
Do you want me to? Oh, you thought I was gonna give you one and then say
No. I
overreaction?
thought we were gonna say what the overreaction was and then argue it.
I have a few. If you want me to go
No,
first.
I have one that'll work right now. This is my other one. Jim Harbaugh has not completely fixed the Chargers.
No, absolutely not. And in one game,
So I'm only saying this because I did see a lot of stuff online and in Twitter that, you know, them coming out, winning, this is Jim Harbaugh turning around the team, the Chargers are going to be better. I do think the Chargers are going to be better. I think Jim Harbaugh will reform the team and figure it out. My issue with the team is the talent level on both sides of the ball. A lot of guys leaving in free agency this year. I think a couple of them actually got traded away. But offensively, we're looking at Joshua Palmer, Ladd McConkey, J.K. Dobbins, and Gus Edwards. Justin Herbert's your most talented person, which I feel like Justin Herbert's a good passer. I think this is going to be a serious defining year in his career where we determine, are you top 5 elite level? Are you Kirk Cousins middling level? I don't think he's bad. I don't think he'll ever be bottom of the barrel, but I do think this year is kind of an interesting
he's got a lot
defining point for his career.
He's got a lot of fill in him. He's got a lot of fill in
He
him.
does. There is someone else in the NFL who I think is Phillip Rivers right now. I'm sure everyone knows. Josh Allen. I think he is the quintessential Phillip Rivers. At least that's how it's playing out right now.
Fair.
I'm
I'm gonna
Baker.
go Brett Favre. I think Josh Allen is Brett Favre.
That's true. Yeah, I could see that.
I was gonna say Baker kind of feels like Phil a little bit.
The comparison to Phil with Allen makes sense from a success standpoint because we're gonna rack up playoff wins but never won the big one.
Right.
And so far, that's Allen's story.
Yeah.
So success-wise, on paper, yes, but style of play, I think he's Brett Favre. He there's never been a deep ball that he wouldn't throw.
That is true.
He trusts his arm a little too much, and we're gonna live and die by Josh Allen's decisions, the same way the Packers were willing to live and die by Brett Favre's decisions, and it got them one Super Bowl with Brett Favre.
Yeah. But one last note on the Chargers, real quick. This is obvious. I mean, even with the team being turned around, quote unquote, you still have to versus the Chiefs 2 times a year. The other 2 teams in your division, you're probably at the same, I would think, talent level. Maybe the Raiders and the Broncos a little bit worse than the Chargers, but I don't think the Chargers are much better than those 2. So at best, maybe you split the division. You know you're probably going 0-2 against the Chiefs unless something
I feel
absolutely
like that's a
crazy
definite-
happens.
yeah.
But yeah, I believe in Jim Harbaugh, but I don't think he's completely turned around the Chargers just yet. I think he needs a little bit more.
Yeah, and J.K. Dobbins having one exceptional game amongst, and I get the knee, whatever. I know he said that his knee was all fucked up last year, whatever.
Right.
I need to see it.
It was in a
consistently.
Achilles and a knee, 20 ACL.
Well,
Yeah, but he was saying on I can't keep up anymore because I am athlete split up. So I think it's the pivot that he was
Yeah.
on, talking about how his knee was all fucked up all year last year. Like, still, he's like he said he came back to it, or 2 whenever
Yeah.
it was last year he came back from the knee.
last year he came back from the knee and got the Achilles in like week 2.
Yeah.
But that's also the thing with J.K. Dobbins, and I don't want to curse him, but I feel bad because every year it's like this. He has these amazing rushing performances, and then by week 3 or 4, it's season-ending injury. So hopefully this year,
And
that's not the case.
I'm just gonna say it, and it's no shot at J.K. He's 5'6".
Yeah, well,
It's part of
10 carries, 136.
I'm
2
talking about his
touchdowns.
injuries,
yeah,
dog.
his injuries.
I'm talking
Small
about
guy.
when you're 5'6" and you're playing against linebackers that are fucking your size, Jack. It's not always about how much heart you have. Sometimes a Prius can only hit a fucking train so many times before it stops starting, you know? And look, I wish him all the best. So here's my first overreaction. Cincinnati Bengals.
This was going to be my other one, so we
The
can talk about this.
Cincinnati Bengals are in capital Trouble.
That was gonna be
Trouble,
the
trouble, trouble for the Cincinnati Bengals. Here's my overreaction. Will not make the playoffs this year. You cannot.
Wow.
You
I
cannot.
wasn't going to say all that.
You cannot come out on week 1 against the New England Patriots, against a team that had one of, if not tied for the second lowest win-loss total, gambling total for the year at I think 4 or 5.5 games. A team that is completely devoid of talent on both sides of the ball. A team that has no fucking plans of being successful this year with a first-year head coach, rookie head coach, rookie fucking, I think, coach in general. Was he the DC?
Gerard Mayo? Yeah,
Gerard
he
Mayo
was in the organization.
Yeah,
last
he
year.
was the DC.
He was the DC last year, and before that he was an assistant. A team that is playing Jacoby Brissett, and instead of rolling out, doing the inverse of another team that we're going to talk about here in a little bit, they are not expected to win many games this year. And you went out, we spent all this money 2 years ago, then we went out last year, spent all this money again on more offensive linemen. We put all of these assets into protecting Joe Burrow. We let Joe Mixon walk, who, by the way, had a fucking career game on Sunday. We got this. Chase Brown's going to do it for us. Don't worry about it. We see how
Chase
well
Brown
that
got
went.
out-touched by 300% from
What?
Gus Edwards. Chase Brown was out-touched by Zach Moss. Sorry,
Yeah.
he was out-touched by Zach Moss like 22-3.
We still can't keep Joe Burrow up. We are now at the point of losing our window with wide receivers because Boyd's gone.
Yeah.
Higgins is hurt and also probably
Not signed.
got 1 foot out the fucking door. Jamar Chase, I was shocked, played on Sunday without a contract. The defense has been losing players and not replacing them with any blue chippers, which is all fine and good because it's, the NFL is a war of attrition. It's 53 guys all moving in one direction. You can make up for losing a Jesse Bates or a Carl Lawson a few years ago, or a CJ Uzama, who was really important to their team a couple of years ago. But I was uninspired. I mean, look, if they came out like we just talked about with the Jets, if they were playing a top-flight team, a team that we had high expectations for, and they wind up losing a one-possession game, all right, fine, I'll let it go. Nah, that was way too ugly, too disgusting. It's only going to get harder. There's not going to be many teams on the schedule that are worse than the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
That's my overreaction, missing the playoffs.
You know what? I got another one because now I'm going to flip it on you. Patriots are just fine, dude. Patriots are going to be okay and break the win total. And you're shaking your head at me right now. Gerard Mayo's been in that building since before. I'm trying to remember the year. I can't really get it. He played linebacker in the old days when Moss was still on the Patriots.
Yeah, he's career.
He's been in that building through the entire, past 2 decades at this point you could call it?
Ish, yeah.
Ish, right? Patriot way still exists. The Patriots are going to come back, not this year. The Patriots will beat the win total this year. I don't think they break 500 on the season, but they'll be just fine. They got Drake May waiting in the wings with Jacoby Brissett starting, which I think is
Drake May should not touch the field all year.
I agree with you, but I think that's still a silly decision. Anyway, point being...
Disagree.
That's okay, you can. Point being, Patriots are going to be just fine. They're going to come out. They're going to batter some teams because that Patriot defense is always still going to be there. And that's how I feel about it. I looking at the eye test, you shut down one of the best quarterback wide receiver duos in the league. Obviously,
Based
with
on
the rest in the situation.
Based on what? Burrow hasn't played since fucking 2022. I don't care what you did 2 years ago. I don't. Based on what? Makes them the best quarterback wide receiver duo in the league.
That's fair. It's a fair take.
It's what if the NFL is a what have you done for me lately league. No one gives a fuck about 2022. Burrow hasn't proven that he can do it consistently. They had one good year where they avoided didn't they avoid the Chiefs in the playoffs the year they went to the Super Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They got knocked off by...
The Bills beat the
Bills.
beat the Chiefs, and then they
Was
played
it
the
the
Bills,
Bills?
right?
Did
No.
they play... Wait, is that the Mar Hamlin game? The Bengals-Bills playoff game?
No, that didn't happen.
That was the year that the Browns almost beat the Chiefs, and then the Bills beat them the next one.
I feel like one of those games was the Mar Hamlin
And
game.
I said it
It
then.
a
That was a
game.
regular season.
That was a regular
It was
season.
a reg- it was-
no,
because it
no,
was fantasy
it was a
championship.
It was a snow delay.
No, the delay was for DeMar Hamlin.
No, there was another game that had like a big snow. I'm trying to think. Was it Cincinnati versus Buffalo in the snow in Buffalo? I'm trying to remember. I remember this very
Cincinnati
vividly.
Buffalo was the DeMar Hamlin game. It was on Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football, deciding fantasy football championships that year.
Mm.
But I do kind of agree with Jack. I wouldn't say that the Patriots are fine, but I do think the coach is in a good spot. He's been there. I think he's going to be a good coach. Like I said about the Chargers, I think the Patriots roster is just talent depleted. Number one receiver is
not Jacoby Myers.
No, he's on the Raiders.
Jalen Polk,
is
the
it
rookie.
Demario
Douglas isn't on the Patriots either. He's on the Falcons. It's Jalen Polk, the rookie.
So
they cut Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah.
Hunter Henry might be the number one receiver on the team.
So that's my concern. I can't name one person on defense. I'm not gonna lie to you. At least of significance.
Christian Barmore.
Yeah, I mean, other than that,
Jabril Peppers.
But I do
who is also wearing a Guardian cap in game.
I do agree with Jack. I do think the Patriots are poised to be in a position this year where they'll be just under middle of the pack, but they are kind of making the right moves to move forward. Get out of the Bill Belichick area.
I think they're gonna.
Demario Douglas is on the Patriots.
He is on the Patriots. I think they're gonna cover a ton of spreads, but lose a ton of games.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna come near the win total. I don't think they're coming near 6 or 7 wins, but they will be in a lot of games they play. I said it back then. After that Rams-Bengals Super Bowl, I said then on this podcast, their window is already closed. I don't think they will ever be back with this team, and I'm standing by that. My next overreaction: the Denver Broncos would have been better off trotting out Zach Wilson last week.
Yeah, Bo Nix is getting a lot of hate, it seems like.
Bo Picks.
Which I kind of get. There were some throws and some glimmers of hope where you were like, oh shit, there it is, but overall not a great output.
I wish I could take credit for this, but I can't, especially because it's one of the biggest shows on the planet. Did you see what they said on Part of My Take about Bo Nix?
No.
They fucking Big Cat and PFT. I think PFT said it first, and Big Cat was like, "Yeah, I'm with that." Bo Nix very well could be the next Jameis Winston. Every ball he throws could be a touchdown. There could not be a receiver 7 yards within the ball. He could throw a ball into. I mean, did you watch any of the Broncos game on Sunday? There was
whoever was on Red Zone.
Dude, so it was on Red Zone.
Yeah.
There was a point, right? Bo snaps the ball, play fake, turns around, throws the ball. The ball has not broken the line of scrimmage in the air yet, and whoever was calling the game goes, "Oh no." He goes, "Oh no!" And then sure as shit, dude, 3 defenders,
triple coverage,
3 defenders in the area intercepted.
Yeah.
The reason I say they would have been better off trotting out Zach Wilson instead of Bo Nix is simply for all of the reasons we fucking had, all the issues we had with the Jets handling of Zach Wilson 3 years ago. Once you put him in, the rookie, you're kind of stuck there.
Right.
You can't pull Bo Nix now and put Zach Wilson or Jarrett Stidham out there because it's going to fuck the kid's confidence up. Zach Wilson, it cannot get worse for Zach Wilson. He should have no more fear to throw an interception. He should have no more fear to fuck up. He lived through the hellstorm of being the New York Jets starting quarterback for 3 seasons. If you pull him, whatever, been there, done that. The Jets benched me 3 fucking times.
Right.
I believe that it was overconfidence and an oversight from Sean Payton. Look, maybe Bo Nix did win the competition. They said it was a tight 3-way competition. Maybe he did win the competition. Maybe he did impress in camp. Maybe his mentals were really impressive for a rookie. We're talking about a 25-year-old rookie, first of all. So his mentals should be better.
Who has never read of defense.
His mentals should be better than a 20 or a 21-year-old, first of all. And a lot of guys are good on air. A lot of guys are good. I mean, Joe Milton, the 3rd-string quarterback from the Patriots, he looks like God's gift of football on air. The guy could throw the ball 90 yards.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little different when you're playing real defenses in a real live game. And I think it's too far gone now. It's going to have to be the Bo Nix show for the rest of the year, and we hope it gets better. And maybe he is that next electrifying quarterback like a Jameis, in the sense that every time he snaps the ball, all 21 other guys on the field are involved. But I think it was a mistake and an oversight by Sean Payton to run him out there in week 1. I have more. Am I the only one with more?
I had 2.
I had a couple in the back of my head.
Was your Cincinnati one similar to mine?
It was the same exact thing.
Just not saying that they're not going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't think they'll get to the Super Bowl. I think they'll just get the playoffs, but it is definitely concerning. I guess a quick one would be in the fantasy community at least.
I know. I think I know where you're going.
Good. Do you have this in yours? I don't want to take it.
It just popped up in my head. Is it
Marvin Harrison?
I was gonna say we're talking about Maserati Marv.
Did you see what
Marvin
Kyler
Harrison
said?
will be fine.
Did you see what Kyler said?
No.
Oh, okay. So,
did I miss
perfect.
something? Really?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So everyone saw the play, right, on social media towards the end of the game, down by a touchdown, I think, and Marvin Harrison's wide open, and Kyler just never sees him and never throws the ball.
Yes,
right?
I did see that.
So they asked Kyler about that, or about getting him the ball in general. The actual quote that came out of Kyler Murray's mouth, "It's not my job to get Marvin Harrison the football."
Well, that's not a good look.
Whose job is it?
Yeah, that's not.
Whose job is
It
it?
is your job.
Should the center just pick the ball up and throw it to Marvin? Should I do it from my couch in Long Island?
Why would he say that?
I couldn't think of anyone whose job it is more.
It's literally
It's
only
Kyler's.
your job.
That is
No one else
not
is
my
responsible
job.
for that besides the backup quarterback, but he's not playing right now.
Now,
Kyler, hold on.
the only thing, let's just
I
try
have Kyler in
let's
fantasy
try
too.
to
It's not great.
let's try to defend him a little bit, in the sense that, I mean, let's be honest here. Obviously, he knows his job is to throw the ball to his playmakers. What he probably means is the scheme, the play calls,
Right.
the designs. It's not up to him. He calls the plays that are called. So, fine. But
yeah,
still an egregious thing to fucking say as the starting quarterback of the team.
could have been worded better.
Kyler's real job is to just entertain us of the NFC fucking. Is it the South or the West?
NFC
South.
West.
The West.
No,
Yeah,
West.
I'm sorry.
Dude, every time he takes off from outside of the pocket, I'm like, oh, look at little Kyler go. Look at him go. Running around like a little toddler.
It's like
He
trying
looks
to
like a tiny
it's
little
like trying
pit
to
bull
get-
running around in the park.
it's like trying to get the remote back from a kid.
Yeah, literally. But yeah, Marvin Harrison will be fine. I think. Who else you throw into the ball besides Trey McBride? You need to get
Greg
a target.
Dortch.
Or Greg Dortch, yeah, yeah.
Former wasn't good enough to make the 2021 New York Jets. Greg Dortch. Good enough to be their number 2, though. All right, I got 2 more. We can be pretty quick here. This one is just that it is what it is. Russell Wilson won't start for the Steelers all year.
I agree with that.
It's already true.
I agree with that.
You've already made the mistake of being hurt, and Justin Fields goes in there, and not because of Justin Fields, but because of a team effort, they get the win, and Justin Fields is starting again. You best believe they go 2-0. Russ is done.
Yeah, I think so too. Also, real Russell Wilson moved to be wearing the full getup on the line.
Bro,
Oh, dude.
Even though being
Bro,
inactive.
Shaving his head was
players,
the worst mistake he made.
inactive players do not get equipment in their lockers on game day. So I would love to
He
know
brought it to the
why
stadium.
Russell Wilson was allowed to be fully dressed when it's league-wide inactive players aren't allowed to dress.
No, Team 3 made the decision that it was right for Russell to show up in his shoulder pads.
Just call future, make things better, co-parent your kids, dude.
Shaving his head's the worst thing he did.
And now here's my last overreaction.
He looks like fat Tiger Woods.
I know just a week ago we made all these picks when we did our futures show. Bob Saleh is the new favorite for first coach fired.
Really?
Bob Saleh has to be the new
What the
favorite
fuck?
for
Why?
first coach fired. Because if, like we just said, these next 3 games, if they only win one of the next 3, I would fire him.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Look, even keelness is great. It's great when you're an even keel coach. Nothing ever bothers this guy. When you're getting gouged for 156 yards on the ground by an undrafted rookie running back, show me emotion.
Right.
Show me that you're doing something, especially when you're a player's coach, not a tactician.
And you're a defensive coach.
Especially when you're coaching against the team that you just spent 4 years working for.
Yeah.
You just spent 4 years coaching the defensive coordinator of the Niners under Kyle Shanahan's offense. If anyone should have their boys ready for Kyle Shanahan's zone blocking scheme, it should be the guy that went up against him in practice every day for 4 fucking seasons. He never has a good answer in a press conference. It's always, I promise it's going to get better. When? 18-34. When is it going to get better? You got the mulligan last year because you had the team had no backup plan for Rodgers. You got stuck with Zach. You got a mulligan. If that didn't happen, if they had Ty God as their backup last year and the same result happened, he'd already be gone. So I think, in my opinion, if they are not fucking 3-1 coming out of this first month of regular season football, God forbid they're 1-3, pull the plug on this guy, especially if it's because of the defense. That's my final overreaction.
You know, here's
That's
my
all I
take.
gotta say.
A silly take. It's not the winter. You don't got no hat on. That head's cool. It's keeping a cool head. Once that beanie goes on, dude, someone gets fired up.
That's what it is. It's Beanie
It's the
Bob.
mittens. It's Beanie Bob.
Beanie Bob.
Beanie Bob.
Start wearing it in fucking September then, Bob. I don't care.
Beanie Bob.
That's the lines.
I was going to say, is it that time?
It's
that
I
time.
didn't get to do it last week.
It's that time, baby.
Well, first, do we want to look at the youth?
What is that? What is?
Do we want to look at the collegiate level athletes?
No, that's the next
No.
episode.
You want to do?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're GTLing right now.
My bad, bro.
Who's gonna pull the lines?
I can pull.
Okay.
I guess I should come up with a little scorecard here, huh? I didn't have to keep score last week. I played against myself.
How'd you do?
What, I hit 4 bing bongs?
He did hit 4 big
Yeah.
bombs. I feel like this is either atrocious, because this is my first time playing Guess the Lines this year. So it's either going to be atrocious or it's going to be pretty spot on.
Bro, what happened with DraftKings where you have to do the full password login every time you log in?
Nah,
Yeah,
dude, I
fucking
X'd
tell
that
me,
shit
man.
out and I just face scanned
It
it.
makes me not want to use it anymore,
Well, I don't
which I
think so.
barely use it to begin with. But
All right.
all
We
right,
got lines up.
Let's do it.
Thursday night football. We have Buffalo at Miami. I have Miami minus 2.5.
I got Miami -2, Jim.
I have a -3.5. They are -2.5.
Bing bong, let's
Oh,
go.
good hit.
So this is going to be the part where I have them in order based on Google. It's not going to match up with DraftKings. So
Okay, that's fine.
it's San Fran at Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
I have San Fran minus 6.5.
I got San Fran -7.5.
I have them 7.5 too. They are -6.
It's me
So it's
again.
you.
Seattle at New England. I'm going to take Seattle minus 2.5.
I got Seattle -6.
I have a -4.5. They are -3.5. So that's you, because I went over.
Yeah.
Wasn't
I
thinking
knew
about
I was
New
going to be
England
too
with
high
that.
this week. That's exactly how it goes.
Big Blue at Washington. It's going to be a rock fight. I'm going with the more exciting quarterback and the home team. Standard home team field advantage. Washington minus 1.5.
Got Ooh, go ahead.
I have the same as Hawk.
I have 2.5.
It is -2.
Is that I was closer?
You went over.
Okay.
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
We were the
You
same.
were a half point inside.
We were both we were equidistant, but you went over, so that's Price is Right rules. That's me and Brian.
Finally.
Fuck the
on
Price is
board.
Right.
Los Angeles Chargers at Carolina, and I got the Superchargers minus 6.5.
I took them 9.5, and
I
that's
have
way too high.
The same as Hawk and Joe's. It's -6.
All right.
Did you know that you can get a ticket to Carolina home game during the season for now $1.82?
2 tickets.
2 tickets for $1.82.
2 tickets for $1.80.
So Jim, how about October 31st, Thursday? Oh wait, no, that's not.
That's what are you talking about?
I was gonna say.
October 31st, Halloween night, Thursday night football, Houston Texans at New York Jets in JetLife Stadium. We're going.
All right,
Oh shit, that would be sick.
We're going.
we're going.
Really?
Yeah.
We're going.
God damn.
Want to come?
I was just saying, how do you feel about a little weekend trip
I'll
to
think about
Carolina?
it.
Yeah, we'll see. I got a lot of trips. I got Vegas next month, so that's going to cost me thousands of dollars.
You're gonna have fun though.
Yeah. New Orleans Saints at Dallas Cowboys in Jerry World. I have Dallas minus 3.5.
I got Dallas -5.5.
I have them -7.5. They are -6.5. So that would be Jack.
What did you have?
5.5.
Jack's on the board.
Yeah, we're halfway through the slate.
Indianapolis Colts at Green Bay Packers. Malik Willis will be the starting quarterback. I have Indy minus 3.
I have Indy -5.5.
I have the same as Jack, but it is -3.
Bing bong, baby.
You got to tighten it up here. Tighten it up.
Good feel for the lines early in the year. Cleveland at Jacksonville. Deshaun Watson is absolutely trash, and he's facing another sexual assault lawsuit as of 2 days ago.
Really?
Yeah.
God damn.
As of 2 or 3 days ago, he's facing another one. Monday night actually came out. I got Jacksonville minus 2.5.
I have Jacksonville minus 4.
I have a minus 4.5, but they are minus 3.
And thank you.
That would be higher. I'm not gonna lie.
This one I may have fucked up and not gone high enough, but we'll see. It's the New York Jets at Nissan Stadium taking on the Tennessee Titans, and I have the Jets minus 2.5.
I have the Jets minus 5.5.
I have the minus 3.5, and it is 3.5.
Bing
So I have
bong,
the bing
baby. Let's just hold on. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games left. I have 9 points. Brian has 4. Jack has 1. Still a game.
What?
It's still a
I
game.
got a bing bong. Oh,
It's not a
okay.
game for you, really. I mean, look, there's 14 points on the board if you bing bong all of them.
I don't need all of them.
If you got all of them without any bing bongs, you would be 1 point shy of me. So it's still a game. Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Detroit. I have Detroit just over a field goal at home in this one, minus 3.5.
I got Detroit minus 4.
I have them minus 5. They're minus 7.5.
That's
Jesus
crazy.
Christ, so that's Brian, right?
That is crazy.
That's a crazy
I was gonna say, that might
line, and
be
it
a
might be
nice
an
little
early favorite for Glizzy Dog.
Buccaneers, baby. To cover.
Las Vegas Raiders at Baltimore Ravens. I have Ravens and Lamar in a revenge game, minus 8.5.
I got Baltimore minus 7.5.
I have the same as Jack, but it is minus 8.5.
Really, dude.
Damn.
When you're on, you know? Los Angeles Rams at Arizona, divisional matchup. I got the Rams minus 2.5 on the road.
Got the Rams minus 3.5 on the road.
I have the same as Hawk. It's actually the Cardinals minus 1.
Wow,
Bullshit.
really?
I would guess because the Rams
And
have 2
you
offensive
were above
linemen
us,
now,
right?
but-
Yeah.
I'm giving no one a point.
Okay. That seems fair.
Time is now.
Cincinnati at Kansas City. I got Kansas City minus 6.5.
I have Kansas City minus 4.
I have them minus 5.5, and it's minus 5. So that would be Jack.
What'd you have?
I went
4.
over.
You had 4. You had 5.5.
Yeah, but I went over.
Yeah, but going over only matters if it's a tie.
Oh.
Yeah, bro. Price is right, I guess. The lines are right.
Okay, so it's Brian's point.
Thank you.
Good point, Brian.
Pittsburgh at Denver. I have Pittsburgh minus 3.
Pittsburgh minus 2.
I have a minus 4. They are minus 2.5. So that is Jack.
So there you go, Jack.
On the board for the second time today.
You can make this one look respectable here. 2 bing bongs, and you'll tie Brian for second. Chicago at Houston, Sunday Night Football. Disgusting matchup. I get it. Young quarterbacks. We're excited about that. Other than that, I'm not that excited about the Bears. I got Houston minus 4.5.
Houston minus 8.5.
I have them minus 6.5, but they are minus 6.
So that's Brian. All right, just for fun. What do you say we do one for fun?
What do you mean?
Atlanta. There's one more left.
Oh.
Nobody can catch me. Atlanta at Philly. I have Philly minus 7.5.
Philly minus 6.
I have them minus 4.5, and it's minus 6.5. So Jack gets that point.
Jack got it.
Yeah.
So no bing
All right.
bongs yet. An atrocious start
All right.
for your boy.
So week 2 of Guess the Lines. It's our first week keeping score, going head to head against each other. The final score, I have 11. Brian has 7. Jack has 3. So that's your first win in Guess the Lines for your boy. Let's get into this Thursday night game, shall we?
Yeah. Got a little Bills-Dolphins.
Tomorrow night or tonight, if you're listening to this on Thursday, because this will be going up at about, 10 o'clock tonight or something like that. Bills-Dolphins, AFC East matchup. Should be exciting, should be explosive. The spread is 2.5 in Miami's favor.
So, yeah, it's minus 2.5. Over-under is 48.5. And I'm just going to note this because it's interesting. DraftKings has their, percentage. 50-50 down the line. First time I've ever seen a 50-50 split on the money line.
Oh, okay.
Since I've had this happen.
50% of the money is going either way.
Yeah.
As far as the money line is concerned.
It's a shootout
I'm
for
not
me.
going to lie. I'm probably going to take the Bills at 2.5. I think I agree with Jack. I think this is going to be a
Dolphins'
shootout.
defense looked in disarray against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Buffalo's defense is nowhere to be found, just like Buffalo.
I think it's going to be a huge back and forth. I agree.
Yeah, it's Josh Allen decision time. We're going deep, and whoever's down there is catching it.
I absolutely love the over.
Yeah, 48 feels nice.
I absolutely love the over here, and I'm actually gonna go the other way on this one. I like Miami
Yeah.
-2.5. Yeah.
I mean, with the way I see it playing out is like Jack's saying, complete shootout. Get down to the fourth. I wouldn't be surprised if a field goal determines it just off a, running out of time drive. We just get into field goal range and kick the game-winning field goal. That's kind of how I see this going.
Yeah, but then, because it's early in the NFL, I could just look like an absolute fucking fool, and it could be fucking 13-10. So, to be honest with you, I don't know what the call is.
But I agree with you. The Bills' defense, good, not great. Dolphins' defense has good players, but did not look great against Jacksonville last week. I mean, at least not at first. It didn't look great.
Yeah, no, not at all. But also, 3 of them were being detained, and I will say that lightly.
Yeah, that's what I woke up to.
Tyreek Hill and Calais Campbell were getting their faces dragged in the pavement.
Yeah, I woke up. I have Tyreek Hill drafted in the first round. Woke up, turned on my TV, and there's a clip of it. Literally, it was like perfect. It was like movie timing. Turn it on. There he is, getting handcuffed. I go to Anna. Go, is that fucking Tyreek Hill?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Look, I don't really want to get too much into the Tyreek Hill thing.
Yeah, no.
Should this shit have happened? No. When you have 0% tints, you gotta roll your window down if the cop asks you to. Stop rolling it back up and all of this nonsense. I don't really want to get too much into it. I think it could have been easily avoided by both parties.
Yeah.
This is one of the rare cases where both sides were probably wrong in some degree here. And it is what it is. It'll all get sorted out. But yeah, that shit going on 2 hours before the game, that'll probably be enough to throw your whole offense out of whack, not knowing if you're going to have the best receiver in the NFL
Right.
suiting up or watching the game from a jail cell. So that'll be that. I do really like the Dolphins as far as prop bets go here. What about Dalton Kincaid to score a touchdown? Are the odds going to be there?
Yeah, it's looking like it, yeah. Plus 220.
I like that a lot. I think he wasn't really super involved on Sunday. I'm really going to like Khalil Shakir going forward on this team,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to do it after he just got in last week. I'm not going to double up on a Khalil Shakir score, but I think Kincaid is probably the play. The problem with making a pick for Miami is it's either going to be Reek or A-Chain, and I'm willing to bet the odds aren't really there for either one of them.
No.
Probably minus money for Tyreek Hill and probably just above even
Minus
money.
120, minus 110.
Yep.
Oh, they're both minus money.
Yeah.
Then after that, it's a crapshoot. Do you want to take the Penguin? Do you want to take fucking? I don't even know who plays tight end for them anymore. Do you want to take
Durham Smythe.
Yeah.
Durham Smythe?
Yeah.
Do you want to take fucking Jalen Wright, the backup?
I was going to say,
running
I
back?
think this is the game where we see the weird touchdown out of the weird tight end. So I think Jonnu Smith is a fun little one to be
Who does
looking
Jonnu
at.
Smith play for these days?
Dolphins.
Really?
He got traded to the Dolphins from the Falcons.
That guy's a bum.
Baxton Berrios plus 600.
Do not disrespect Jonnu Smith.
Jonnu Smith's a bum.
Oh, you're... We'll get to
Braxton
later in the
Berrios
season.
plus 600 is crazy because you're relying on either a kick return, a punt return, or a fucking end around.
Robbie Chosen?
Yeah, they
He's on the
elevated him.
Dolphins.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he got cut, practice squad, then they elevated him because someone got hurt.
MVS.
No touchdown score, plus 16,000.
No shot.
We do have a little... That's crazy. They have a parlay touchdown score on here. Either Tyreek Hill or Josh Allen to score one touchdown, minus 475. I feel like you take that bet probably feeling like it's good, and then this is the game Josh Allen throws all of them.
Yeah, I just the problem with betting Lamar, Jalen Hurts, or Josh Allen to score is that even though they score touchdowns at a high clip for a quarterback, it's still not high enough of a clip to bet it at minus money or even money, and they're so often like topping out at plus 120, plus 140.
I feel like this is a 2-touchdown game territory.
We do have Josh Allen and Dalton Kincaid to combine for 2 touchdowns, so all you need is one passing touchdown, and they both have one.
No,
So they could buy-
that definitely
that's not how it
that
works?
definitely
No,
counts
it
as
means
a
rush.
that definitely counts as a ball carrier touchdown.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's not a throw. I
that
should have
doesn't.
figured that
Yeah,
actually.
there's no way that counts as a passing touchdown.
Wow, they have 3 touchdowns on here now. They didn't have that last year, I don't think.
Well, Saquon fucking did it to him. They're like,
Right.
all right, we're gonna have to do this now. If guys are doing it in the second game of the year.
So, I'll just go through it because we're chilling here real quick. Where are we
I
at?
really like Achane for 2 touchdowns. Plus
We have-
550.
Josh Allen over under 245. Sorry, Jack. And then Tua over 266.
I like
I just
them both.
think those should be flipped, but that's personally just me.
Yeah, but they're counting on the playmakers too. You know, you're looking at Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle versus Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir, and
Right.
and Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid. Not saying that they're bad. I'm just saying they're not 2 of the 7 fastest wide receivers in the NFL. You know, the boom rate on that Dolphins offense is way higher than the Bills are going to be.
Yeah.
Especially this year, I think the Bills are going to do way more grinding it out, way more shorter stuff.
You could be looking at a
Intermediate
James Cook touchdown. He had plus value there.
I like James Cook. I like Dalton Kincaid. I like Dawson Knox. Those are the touchdown scorers I like for the Bills. For the Dolphins, it's simple. It's Tyreek Hill or A-Chain for 2. Pick either one of them and pick them to go for 2.
Yeah.
And that's, if you want to make a prop bet that's going to win you some money, that's what you do. My opinion, if you really want to make money, I mean, like we just said, it's a 50-50 split here on DraftKings right now at Wednesday night at about 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That will obviously change by kickoff, but we're looking at a coin flip, so you want to make your safe bet. I'm going to recommend the over and whichever team you like the points for. For me, it's Miami minus 2.5 and over 48.5 points scored in the game. That's my serious bet. My fun bet, A-Chain for 2.
Yeah, Achane for 2 seems like a really fun one. No, I agree with you, Jim. It's too simple. I mean, this game, if it's not a shootout, I feel like it's a failed Thursday night game. But it's early in the season, and like, what do we want most? We want excitement. We want good NFL, and that's just not how it goes some of the time. I mean, last year it was a pretty slow start. Besides, you know, the young guys like Anthony Richardson had a pretty good, solid start to the year. Somebody else I'm forgetting the name of, who was not Puka Nacua, had a slower start and then popped out in like game 2 or 3.
That always happens.
Yeah, but
Defense always looks better early in the year,
exactly.
and
yeah.
offense always
Everyone's
sputters.
still tuning it up.
And part of it is because we don't fucking hit in training camp anymore, and we don't let 50% of the starters don't fucking see a snap in preseason.
Right.
And that's just the modern day NFL.
I'm going to take Bills plus 2.5. Sorry. I'm sticking with it.
The thing is, I just don't like that for my Super Bowl prediction of Miami versus LA. But I'm gonna hold on to that throughout the year.
Quick ad lib, because you reminded me rather. I put the bet in on Lions versus Ravens Super Bowl that we were talking about on the show.
Did you
It's
really?
locked in.
Good
Yeah.
for you, dude.
And I have the Lions winning it.
I have 100 on Rodgers to win MVP.
Yeah, did you?
At plus 2,000, yeah.
I ain't touched the futures, but I'm pretty sure you can still get Super Bowl matchups now. So
Yeah, you can.
I
Your
think-
odds are just going to change.
I
as the
think
year
around
goes on.
Thanksgiving is when I'm gonna be starting to look at the Rams versus the Dolphins for the ring.
Fair enough. Anything else?
I don't think for right now. No.
All right, we'll enjoy Thursday Night Football. Brought to you by House of Habit Podcasting. Stay Thirsty Company. Dino Skate Park. Justin Chop Shop at West Hampton Beach. And now Santa Mauritius. Check out the new location in Santa Mauritius on Montauk Highway.
You want meat? They got it.
Justin's Chop Shop. You could bust our chops, but no one beats our meat. Peace out.
Stay tuned.